Button.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Almost Sideways, a place for movie conversation. We got a really fun topic today. We are talking about the 38th annual Film Independent Spirit Awards that are going to be hosted live this upcoming weekend, March 4th, 2023 at 2 p.m. PST. Of course, as a Film Independent member myself, I have to go on and talk with this amazing topic every single year with my good buddy, Todd. Todd Plugnick, how are you doing, man?
Doing great. This has always been sort of my favorite award show. So this is, I look forward to doing this every year now that we're members.
Yeah, being a member of Film Independent, we are able to have the privilege of voting on this award show and kind of maybe having some outcomes go our way for some of our favorite performances and stuff like that too. So it's always a fun conversation to dive into it. So we're going to give you guys our predictions. We're going to tell you kind of our ranking of the films. We're going to just have a good conversation. So if you have seen any of the movies, make sure you guys leave some comments in the comments section. That'll be a fun topic, and we'll read your comments off too. So anyway, this upcoming year is the. Let me go to my slides real quick. The ceremony is, again, it's going to be March 4th, 2023 at 2 p.m. PST, and it's going to be hosted by Hazan Manaj there. He's going to be hosting it this year. It's weird not to have Aubrey Plaza, but it's really cool to have a new host here. So I'm excited to see what he brings to the table. Have you heard of him, or are you kind of excited for how he's going to host?
I'm not really familiar with him, but what I do like is that this ceremony is actually going to be broadcast live on the Film Independence YouTube channel instead of since the beginning. Basically, it was on the IFC channel, which is harder and harder to get now. But now, yeah, it's actually online, which would be cool. But they have had some great hosts over the years, and I'm sure this guy will be awesome. Like I remember when John Mulaney did it, and there's they've had some really cool hosts, and it's always a really lively, unfiltered show. So
makes it always fun. All right, I think it's time. Let's just jump right into kind of the categories, and we're going to kick it off in a big way. We're going to go to the best feature category. So, Todd, can you do the honors? Let us know what is being nominated here, and we'll discuss each movie.
All right, the nominees for best feature are Bones and All, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Our Father the Devil, Tar, and Women Talking.
All righty. So some big movies here, especially a couple of big Oscar players as well. I think three of those movies are Oscar nominated as well. So there's going to be some outcomes that are probably going to be in the Oscar race too. So let's dive into it. Let's go into our kind of a ranking of the features first, and we'll give you guys our prediction at the end too. Kind of give you our voting. So Todd, how about kick it off?
For my rankings, so number 5, I have the one that is probably going to win a lot of these awards. It's Everything Everywhere All at Once. I was not really the biggest fan. If you listen to our podcast, you would know that. And then number 4, I have Women Talking. Number 3, Our Father the Devil. Number 2, I have Tar. And the one I voted for best feature was my number 5 of the year, Bones and All, which I think is just a fabulous, wild movie that cannot be replicated.
Nice, that's a good pick. Good kind of winner too. That's going to be interesting how that plays out. It's definitely one of those more interesting conversational movies. I know it's kind of a divisive movie here on the podcast on Almost Sideways. So, kind of my ranking here. I do have Women Talking at number 5 for myself. Number 4, I have Bones and All. 3, Our Father the Devil. No, sorry. Number 3, I have Everything Everywhere All at Once. 2, Our Father the Devil. And number 1, the movie I did vote for was Tar. It was also in my top. It was in my number 4 film of 2022 as well. Really love Tar, Cate Blanchett. We'll talk about her later, but that's good winner. So you voted for Bones and All. I voted for Tar here. So we got some kind of dispute already, which is great.
I mean, I love Tar as well. But one thing that stands out to me is that the way they put the nominees together this year, they really went for the Oscar players in a lot of these categories. Because in the past, I remember when in the 2008 awards, like Milk was nominated at the Oscars for Best Picture, Best Director, Best Screenplay, Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor. At the Spirit
Everything,
Awards,
yeah.
it was like nominated for Best Actor, and then it wasn't even the same supporting actor nominated. Like they were just like, okay, these like movies that don't really look like they're independent, we'll give them something, but we'll let the actual independent movies be nominated for Best Feature. But now they up the budget max at the Spirit Awards is now $30 million, which is ridiculous. That's not
Wow.
even an independent movie anymore. Like, I mean, just because it's an independent studio, it's like they just really wanted Everything Everywhere All at Once to be eligible, so they upped it by like $8 million this year from what it was last year. It's kind of ridiculous. But having said that, I mean, Tar doesn't feel like an independent movie, but it's a fantastic movie. So I don't blame you for voting for it.
Yeah, I really like that movie too. I think Everything Everywhere at Once is probably the favorite here, but I really love the inclusion of Our Father the Devil. Super underrated movie that no one is talking about. I know that was the movie that everybody's like, wait, what? What's this movie about? It's actually a really cool film about kind of revenge there too. So I
Oh
thoroughly
no, it is a
enjoyed that
foreign
movie.
film, but they didn't put it in the international category, which I thought was
That's
an
another
interesting
interesting
move.
thing too. And the no acting nominations. I thought the lead actress was phenomenal in that movie too. So
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I really that one really stuck with me, but I mean, it's going against two like really heavy hitters for me, so I went with Bones and All.
good call. All right, prediction for winning.
Oh, it's going to be Everything Ever all at Once, because I mean, it's pretty much like the online like consensus
Favorite,
is
yeah.
who wins these, and that's I mean, the online contingent of Everything Everywhere All at Once fans is ridiculous. So
Good point. Yeah, so Everything Everywhere All at Once, EEAAO. It's probably what I like to call it, but it's probably going to win here. So, all right. Let's go into our next category. Put this one down. Our next category, Todd, lead it off.
so we're going to Best Director.
First feature, I think I had that.
Best First Feature. Okay,
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know. I didn't know what order we are going in. Okay,
No
Best
worries.
First Feature nominees we have Aftersun, Emily the Criminal, The Inspection, Mirina, and Palm Trees and Power Lines.
Okay. All right. So some really great movies here as well. Some really ones that are really unexpectedly amazing, actually. So a really great category here. Oh, yeah, there we go. So my ranking of these movies, I do have Emily the Criminal at number 5, Palm Trees and Power Lines at 4, 3 The Inspection, 2 Marina, and number 1 that I voted for, what is Aftersun, was one of my favorite movies of 2022 as well. So I'm predicting I voted for Aftersun, so that's what we'll say for now.
Okay. Where our rankings are quite different, but these are 5 like genuinely good movies, so I
agree.
can't really go wrong. My number 5, I have Marina. Number 4, The Inspection. Number 3, Aftersun. Number 2, I have Palm Trees and Power Lines, and my number 1 is Emily the Criminal. Like, and as we say on the podcast, it's a Todd movie, but I mean, and it is like a genuinely like really exciting movie to watch, and one that does feel very independent.
I agree with that fact. I think that's one I definitely kind of want to revisit too, because there's something about that movie that I needed them to improve on for some reason, but it's definitely a good Aubrey Plaza performance. We'll talk about the performances in a little bit, but what is your prediction here to win? I think this one is kind of, actually, no, I think it's kind of locked maybe too, but what's your prediction?
I mean, it seems like it's pretty secure for Aftersun. And I mean, ever since it first debuted, I've thought that it felt like one of. I mean, plus it's been taking every Best First Feature and Best Debut Filmmaker award throughout the way. So Aftersun, I think, is winning.
Good call. Yeah, that's what I kind of have as well. And yeah, it's just a great movie there too. So if you haven't seen it, go check out Aftersun there. Go check out all these movies actually, because these are some really good movies that the directors definitely should be doing more things. It's very great turns by each one of them. All right, speaking of directors, let's move on to directing.
Okay. The nominees for Best Director, we have Todd Field for Tar, Kogonada for After Yang, Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert for Everything Everywhere All at Once, Sarah Pauly for Women Talking, and Halina Regine for Bodies, Bodies, Bodies.
Yes, and I did have slides for them. I just forgot to click it. So anyway, those pop up at some point. But uh, the great kind of list of directors here. Each one of them does something a little bit different with each kind of film here. Some really interesting choices on two of them, but still really solid directorial films here. So, Todd, how about you lead off this one?
Yeah, I like how they don't always match up their directors to the pictures at the Spirit Awards. Number 5, I have Helena Rajin for Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. Number 4, I have the Daniels. Number 3, I have Koga Nada, which I think is a really cool nomination that they put there. Number 2, I have Sarah Polley, and I of course voted for Todd Field, the Oscar nominee and the biggest scope of any movie that's nominated.
Nice. I don't have the director's names quite in front of me, but I'm gonna the film. Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. 5, Women Talking 4, After Yang, and the Daniels at EEAO, and then Todd Field for Tar is another one that I have too, though. So I can definitely see Todd Field getting this direction win, with possibly the Daniels being another favorite to win it as well. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I bet the Daniels are going to win. Unfortunately, I mean, unless there are a lot of people like us that are just that are members that aren't the vocal majority that are all about everything ever all at once. I mean, the Daniels are going to win this. But if Todd Fields wins, I will be thrilled.
Ecstatic, yeah. Pretty much, yeah. But great list of directing there. It's great to see that Bodies, Bodies, Bodies get some love here. There's another one that doesn't really quite feel like an independent film. I think it feels like it's one of the bigger studio kind of horror movies that come out in a way, and a great nomination for After Yang. So I love seeing that one as well. That was a really great experience watching that film.
Yeah, I mean, and at a $30 million budget, I'm surprised that things like Banshees wasn't. It must not have been eligible, but I don't know how, because I'm sure the budget couldn't have been that big, but it probably would have been an international film, but it wasn't nominated there either. So
weird.
Yeah, I don't know how they did this.
Yeah, it's always,
they need to let us decide the nominees too.
That would be pretty awesome. That would be pretty awesome. All right, so best first. No, it's best screenplay. My bad. I'm reading the wrong one.
Best screenplay. Okay.
Best screenplay. Making sure I click the right one. All right, go ahead.
The nominees we have are Lena Dunham for Catherine Called Birdie. We have Todd Field for Tar, Koga Nada for After Yang, the Daniels for Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Sarah Polley for Women Talking.
So kind of the same nominations, or same movies nominated here. I will definitely kick this one off. I think Catherine Calls Birdie will be my number 5th pick here. 4, I have the Everything Everywhere All at Once. I'm gonna mess that up the whole time. Women Talking, After Yang, and then I also have Tar as my number 1 screenplay here.
Yeah, I have Tar number 1 as well. And we had almost the same ranking. I have Catherine Called Birdie 5, Everything Everywhere at 4, After Yang 3, Women Talking 2, and Tar at number 1.
Women Talking get that controversial snub at the Almost Sideways Movie Awards this last weekend.
Well, yeah, and Todd Field for director, Adam.
We don't talk about that in Wine Country. Okay, I did it. I did a Terry quote. Yes.
Don't talk like that up in Wine Country.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, and the Daniels are going to win this too. But I mean, there is a chance that Women Talking wins it, because there is a huge contingent of people that love Sarah Polley and they know that she's championing all the right things and she said all the right things, but she just hasn't gotten the love yet. If there is something that could upset the Daniels in the categories we mentioned so far, it'd be Women Talking.
Yeah, and that would be a really awesome win there too. For that, I would be really on board for that win there. I think that would be just a really cool move if that actually did do the upset there. All right, I'm trying to get the next slides ready. The prediction here you have is Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. Yeah, I think that one's going to win there too. There's a world where Tar wins. There's a world that Woman Talking also wins there too. Uh, I would be kind of fine. I would be like jump out of my seat if After Yang wins, pulls it off somehow. Uh, but yeah, I would love it for Tar to get at least something here. But I can see everything everywhere all at once, kind of sweeping that award there too. So
yeah.
All right. Now we talked about best first feature. Now we're going to go to the first screenplay. There's a lot of cool movies here too. Todd, kick it away.
Okay, the best first screenplay nominees are Joel Kim Booster, who wrote Fire Island, Jamie Dack, Audrey Findlay, and story by Jamie Dack for Palm Trees and Power Lines, KD Davila for Emergency, Sarah Delap, and a story by Kristen Rupanian for Bodies, 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 and John Patton Ford, who wrote Emily the Criminal.
Yes, some really really entertaining films here that I really do enjoy here too. So I believe it's your turn. Kick it off.
Okay. For mine, I have number 5, Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. Number 4, Fire Island. Number 3, Emergency. Number 2, Emily the Criminal. And my number 1 is that I voted for is Palm Trees and Power Lines.
Very similar kind of ranking here on my end as well. I have number 5, Fire Island, 4, Bodies, 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 3, Emily the Criminal, 2, Emergency, and number 1, Palm Trees and Power Lines.
Good. I'm glad you voted for that too. Like that's the kind of movie that got that reminded me of what I loved about the Spirit Awards with that made me first start watching it was like those movies that couldn't be told any other way. It's a very complicated scenario, and they do it so honestly, and that it's, I mean, and that's what they all used to be. Like 15 years ago, that all the movies felt like Palm Trees and Power Lines, and this one is like a throwback, and it's a beautiful movie. And I if it gets the award here, I will be so happy.
Yeah, it would be a pretty awesome. It kind of reminded me of moments from Red Rocket from a couple years ago. I think there's similarities. It's just a different kind of way, but there was parts of that movie that I was just like, this is so uncomfortable to watch. It's definitely an uncomfortable watch, but it was definitely told in a way that is important and just kind of can't really explain it, but it's definitely just how it's wrote. It's just really well done, and I couldn't get it out of my head, especially after talking seeing it. Emergency was really close to being up a vote too for me. I really thought that was kind of an entertaining film, seeing the different kind of crazy night that these kids had about trying to get this girl to the hospital, but it kind of like they shouldn't have moved the body in the first place. It's just a crazy story that has a lot of things that are kind of relevant, but in kind of a really kind of chaotic way they were able to tell it. And I'm just that was another one that I couldn't shake too. I just really liked, but some really good nominees here for sure.
I agree, and I'm surprised they didn't put Aftersun in this category. Like it was a little strange, but I mean they were spreading the wealth a little bit. But I mean Emily the Criminal and Palm Trees and Power Lines are nominated for both, so I don't know.
That is kind of weird. That is a good point there. I don't do not understand that why they.
Aftersun nearly got the Oscar nomination, so it would have been on like within the realm of what they've been doing if they would have nominated it. But these nominees did come out like beginning of December, like it was forever ago. So
yeah, that is true. All right, now we're gonna go into lead perform. Or do we already say who's gonna win this thing? We didn't do the prediction here.
No, we didn't predict.
Prediction for best first screenplay here. This is really tough. I think. I think
it's going to be Fire Island.
That's what I was just about it. You took the words out of my mouth right there.
I mean, Emily the Criminal is probably the favorite to win, but Fire Island is just the kind of movie that feels like a great first effort screenplay that will be anointed by the crowd that votes for this. But Emily the Criminal is probably the most well liked and probably most widely seen of this group.
Yeah, I would probably predict Emily the Criminal with a close second of Fire Island, winning the best first screenplay here at this year. So, but I would really love Palm Trees and Power Lines to sneak out this win here.
Absolutely.
All right, so now a very stacked categories coming up: best lead performance and best supporting performance. Only one of these. This is a first here. Controversially, we do not like this. I would say, right, Todd?
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous to make these genderless categories, like, and you're just taking away awards now. Like when you had best lead and female and best lead male, I mean, that's now you're putting it all in one, and you're not giving two awards. You're not giving like a silver medal, even like you're just giving one of these 10 the award. I don't know. It doesn't make a lot of sense, and plus you're making it uneven. So there's a lot of like
7 and 3.
yeah, there's a lot of these performances that are going to that would have snuck in, and then you could have just been like, okay, you know, everyone, like obviously Kate Blanchett is in here, so you could have just like given love to another one of the smaller movies, but instead we're just stuck here with 10 nominees, which are pretty much, I mean, like I would say as Oscar-y as you get for the Spirit Awards of these 10 performances, but it is what it is. I hopefully they go back after this, but I don't know.
It's weird that we have 2 men nominated here and 7 or 8 females. Really good performances from a lot of these people here, though. So it's they're deserving for sure. It's just kind of weird how the love it wasn't even. I don't know. That's what I always thought. I was like, it's weird it's not even, but
why not? I mean, if it was even, then they would just do the category separately. Which I get it. This is a stronger year for females than it is for males. But like I always loved those nominations at the Spirit Awards that would be like, I've never heard of that movie, and the only nominee is one of the actors, and I go out and watch it, and it becomes like one of my 10 favorite movies of that year.
Well, I think the biggest surprise here, I thought the Brendan Fraser for The Whale wasn't nominated here. I thought that was a pretty
I mean, not nominated for anything, and I that has to be an independent movie. I mean, the movie was shot in one room.
No Hung Chow, no Brendan Fraser here. 2 film independent nominations. I think that would have been really well there. It's very interesting snubs there, but
yeah, I mean, I just really don't know how they decide the nominees. Like, how big is the committee that's making these decisions? Because it can't be that big of a consensus.
This is true. Well, without further ado, let's dive into who got nominated here and what's our ranking and who's going to win it. So
okay,
let's dive into it.
The nominees, we have Kate Blanchett for Tar, Dale Dickey for A Love Song, Mia Goth for Pearl, Regina Hall for Honk for Jesus, Save Your Soul, Paul Mescal for Aftersun, Aubrey Plaza for Emily the Criminal, Jeremy Pope, The Inspection, Andrea Riseborough for To Leslie. She got this before. She had their whole online thing. Taylor Russell for Bones and All, and Michelle Yeoh for Everything Everywhere All at Once.
All right. So
a lot of good performances.
A lot of really good performances here. Really solid list of nominations here. All right. I'll kick this one off. A lot of people. I got Regina Hall for Honk for Jesus, Save My Soul at number 10. You're not going to like this one, but I got Taylor Russell next for Bones and All.
Oh.
Yeah, but still a good performance, though. Andrea Riseborough for To Leslie.
Well, that's low.
Well, I like the other ones so much. I like the other ones. It's still a great performance, though. Like I get the love for the nomination. It was a surprise, but I really like Dale Dickey and Love Song. She comes in next. I got Jeremy Pope for The Inspection. I really liked that movie a lot. His performance was really solid. Then I got Aubrey Plaza, Michelle Yeoh, Paul Mescal, Kate Blanchett, and then my winner is my girl Mia Goth for Pearl. I voted for Mia Goth. I gotta give her some love.
I mean, it's not a better performance than Kate Blanchett, but if you voted for her, I mean, I get it.
Yeah, I agree. Kate Blanchett is definitely my favorite here performance, but who I voted for was Mia Goth because I wanted to at least show that movie some love. It's one of my favorite films of last year as well. One of my favorite performances, and also an Almost Sideways nominated performance as well. So
that's true. it would have been cool to see Rebecca Hall in this
Oh
group.
yeah, where was that? That's another kind of surprising snub there for this category.
I
So what do
mean,
you
but
got?
again,
Okay.
another female. Like, not a lot of great male leads this year, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, my rankings: number 10, Regina Hall; number 9, I have Michelle Yeoh; number 8, Taylor Russell; number 7, Jeremy Pope; number 6, that's where I have Mia Goth; number 5, Paul Mescal; number
Mhm.
4, Dale Dickey; number 3,
Mm.
Andrea Riseborough; 2 is Aubrey Plaza, and number 1, of course, I voted for Kate Blanchett.
See, I really like your ranking. I love seeing the love for Dale Dickey there. Aubrey Plaza, of course, she did great. And Andrea Riseborough up there too. Surprised! I thought you would have had Taylor Russell higher for some reason. That's where I was kind of thought you were going to go
Well,
with it.
I mean, I love the movie, but I mean, I don't think that performance
It's not
is
Mark
anything
Rylance
that,
crying out loud.
yeah. It's not as flashy as some of these other ones. It honestly is kind of a strange to include her in this group, but
That is true. Yeah, good point.
I mean,
And I think
she just had her breakout just like a couple of years ago with Waves. So I mean, this is a
I think wasn't she also in like the escape room or something like that too? I think that
oh,
she
that
was.
sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah, and the second one. Anyway, a great list of nominations. I think Kate Blanchett and Michelle Yeoh are going to basically split it here. I think it's going to be a battle between those two.
Yeah, I mean, obviously everybody loves Michelle Yeoh and everything about her entire cast, but I find it hard to think that Blanchett's going to lose to her. But I mean, she did lose at SAG, so my prediction, I guess, is Michelle Yeoh, but I don't really I really don't know.
It would be,
It's going to be just as uncertain as the Oscar voting, I would think.
but would it be crazy to see that Andrea Riseborough here for Two Leslie gets this win because she got that uproar from it's totally different
I,
to different things, but that would just wouldn't that just go in an uproar? It's like, holy crap, she just won.
it would be that would be something if she ended up winning this, because I think the people online were the ones that were all pissed about it. So
It'd be
if
weird. Yeah.
but I mean, she does have the underdog factor, and I think everybody genuinely likes her, and everyone who's seen the movie, which we all who voted should have seen the movie.
Yeah.
I think we all agree she's terrific. So
My favorite comment about after she got nominated for the Oscar on Twitter was how many Film Independent Award or Film Independent members opened up that To Leslie screener the day of her nomination.
yeah, pretty much.
I had watched it 2 days before the nominations came out, so I was like already I was like, okay, cool, right on. She had nominated. Good.
I think I had watched it like even before
You
like we
watched
got
it
the
months
screeners.
before. Yeah, you watched it months before.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there's that. Yeah, I think Kate Blanchett, but Mia Goth. Gotta vote for her. All right.
Wait, so what was your prediction?
Kate Blanchett or Michelle Yeoh. They're gonna split it. It's gonna be one of those. I want to say Kate Blanchett though, because of just that performance, like you said, is just some of the best that you'll see. I think that's just by far one of the better performances that are nominated here. Maybe not my favorite performance of the entire year. Rebecca Hall, looking at you. But anyway, Kate Blanchett's fantastic in Tar. So,
Agreed.
all right, best supporting performance. Now let's hear the 10 nominees.
Okay, the nominees are Jamie Lee Curtis for Everything Everywhere All at Once, Brian Tyree Henry for Causeway, Nina Haas for Tar, Brian Darcy James for The Cathedral, Ki Hugh Kwan for Everything Everywhere All at Once, Trevante Rhodes for Bruiser, Theo Rossi for Emily the Criminal, Mark Rylance for Bones and All, Jonathan Tucker for Palm Trees and Power Lines, and Gabrielle Union in The Inspection. Yeah, intriguing group of nominees. A very heavy group of movies aside from Everything Everywhere All at Once.
But that performance is still really fun though. Still like Q Kwan.
Well, I mean, Jamie Lee Curtis nominated too, which is
yeah, that's true.
Still strange, but okay. Yeah.
BAFTA. No, she won the SAG. Yeah, she won SAG. Yeah. SAG won. Yeah, wow. Sorry, Angela Bassett, you did your thing, but yeah. Anyway, all right. Well, is it my turn? Yeah, it's your turn actually.
My turn. Okay, number 10, I have Jamie Lee Curtis. Yeah. Number 9, I have Gabrielle Union, which is just a heartbreaking performance. Or just like her heart, just like she's an evil person pretty much. But I mean,
I
it's
wanted
great.
to see more of her though. That's the thing.
Yeah,
I think I could have been
very
picked her
small
higher.
role.
Yeah.
She's terrific though. Then number 8, I have Ki Hugh Kwan. Number 7, Brian Tyree Henry for Causeway. Number 6, I have Brian Darcy James, which is another one of those like I'd never even heard of the movie, so it was cool. It was cool to be able to watch that one. Number 5, I have Theo Rossi in Emily the Criminal. Number 4, Jonathan Tucker. And number 3, Nina Haas. 2, I have Trevante Rhodes, and number 1 is Mark Rylance.
Yes.
Which, of course, I had to vote for Mark Rylance, and no performance has just baffled me and like delighted me as much as his crazy performance is silly. So
it's a great win there. Or that's your winner there. I love it. I think that's great that Mark Rylance got the your vote there. All right. Number 1 or number 10, Jamie Lee Curtis. I had her as well. Gabrielle Union. So we're right on board here. Then I had Brian Darcy Jones for The Cathedral. A very interesting paced film. It was really hard for me to get into that one, but he's good in it though. Never heard of that one too. Then I have Ki Hugh Kwan here. Then I have Jonathan Tucker for Palm Trees and Power Lines. Trevante Rhodes for Bruiser. Then I have Mark Rylance for Bones and All. Theo Rossi for Emily the Criminal. And Nina Haas for Tar. And my winner, I love this performance, but Brian Tyree Henry, Causeway. That's who I voted for. I think it's just it's interesting that Jennifer Lawrence actually didn't get nominated for lead, but
sure.
That's weird. But yeah, Brian Tyree Henry, man, that's a guy like I kind of just want to go hang out with. Like it's like he's just a really
it's a role that he definitely just sort of lives in, and he has this demeanor about him in like all of his roles that is just so infectious to watch, even though it's almost like he doesn't care. But
yeah,
it's great that he's finally getting like these major nominations, and he is a beloved actor now. I mean, everything he does is great. So
yeah, had 2 really good movies. Causeway, I really liked that movie. Really liked him in Bullet Train too. That's
of course,
really
and he had another just great season of Atlanta. I mean, he's all over the place. And
I totally forgot that he was in that show.
Yeah, I had him a little bit lower just because I think that I've seen him do those kind of things before, but I mean, I guess it's not a highest war performance like we do, but. Yeah. The one that really stuck out to me was Trevante Rhodes, because I thought he was like good when he was in Moonlight, but in Bruiser I thought he was excellent, and I think he could eventually be an Oscar nominated actor with the right type of role.
With it right, yeah, exactly. Trevante Rhodes had really great in Bruiser there too, and I think that in Moonlight you mentioned that movie, and that one, the third kind of story was kind of everybody kind of thought was kind of the weaker one, and that's the one that he was kind of prominently in, but he has just like this really crazy performance that end like one of the better endings of a film that you'll see in 2022. That the fight scene between the father and Trevante Rhodes it's crazy. I loved how that was shot, and he was another guy that's kind of electric. You can't kind of like Brian Tyree Henry. You just couldn't take your eyes off of him when he was on screen because he kind of just like kind of stole every scene that he was in.
Mm-hmm. So. And a shout out to Theo Rossi, because that's an actor I don't think I've ever seen before, but he is electric, and like I would watch an entire movie with just that character.
Yeah, that one of my favorite. That was the reason why I liked Emily the Criminal. Like he was like the standout performance in that one. I thought he was even better than Aubrey Plaza, to be honest. But I definitely wanted to see kind of his own spinoff movie. So next, it's a different power rankings, but anyway. All right, now we're doing the breakthrough performance. Funny enough,
predictions. I mean,
that's right.
I have a hard time thinking it's not going to be Ki Hugh Kwan.
Yeah,
but if there is, a chance for an upset, I think Brian Tyree Henry actually has a maybe like even like a 10% chance of winning this, which is as better chance than almost anybody has of beating Ki Hugh Kwan in anything this year. But Brian Tyree Henry has the backing to be able to pull an upset.
Cool. I think the three people that are really no, I guess I'll throw four in here. Ki Hugh Kwan, I think, is probably going to win here. Then Brian Tyree Henry. I can see a world where Mark Rylance kind of is in the conversation, and Jamie Lee Curtis. I think that's the four kind of bigger players in this. I can kind of see Mark Rylance being a super dark horse, though. I just think that could get votes because of how crazy the performance is. You know, I could definitely see that.
And he's the only Oscar-winning actor in this group.
True, for now.
For now. Yes, exactly.
But anyway, those are, I think, the four kind of like front runners there. I mean, three front runners and like a dark horse there with Mark Rylance. But some really good performances, though. If you haven't seen any of those movies, definitely go check them out. This is the more interesting one for me, is the breakthrough performance. Let me just find those slides real quick. All right. There we go. All right, go ahead.
Okay, breakthrough performance. We have Frankie Corio for Aftersun. Gracija Filipovic for Murina, Stephanie Hsu for Everything Everywhere All at Once, Lily McInerney for Palm Trees and Power Lines, and Daniel Zolkaldry for Funny Pages.
There we go. All right. Very good nominations. There's one performance I really didn't care for, but we'll talk about that in a second. But I really like this. We had an Oscar-nominated actress here in her breakthrough performance was Stephanie Hsu as well. But I'm going to go with the actor from Funny Pages as my number 5 here. Then I got Lily from Palm Trees and Power Lines. Then Stephanie Hsu here for Everything Everywhere All at Once. And then I got Frankie and Aftersun. And then I'm going to with the Marina actress. I love that movie. That's like a top 15 movie this last year. Like, I'll throw it out there. I was mesmerized by that performance in that film too. So I really kind of fell in love with the Marina. I put it on my Amazon watch list to buy it on Blu-ray when it is available. So rewatch it again. I don't know, that movie hit me. That's another one. I think I liked Marina quite a bit. I like Causeway. Another one's like a lot, and it's just something like you just get in those days where you watch something and it just kind of hits you at the right moment. You watch it at the right time, and Marina definitely is one of those movies. So gonna go with her performance. That's who I voted for anyway.
Okay, our rankings are quite different. Number 5, I have Stephanie Hsu. Number 4, I have Gracija Filipovic. Number 3, I have Frankie Corio. Number 2, I have Lily McInerney. And number 1, I have Daniel Zolkaldry in Funny Pages, which is a movie I did not necessarily like, but his performance reminded me of the kind of thing that you would see in like the mid 2000s in one of these independent movies, like when you first see like Jesse Eisenberg in The Squid and the Whale or something like that. It's not something that's necessarily hard to play, but it's something that was so just it seemed genuine. And if the movie was sort of annoying overall, but I thought was very good, and I would definitely be interested to see where he goes with his career.
Yeah, I didn't know exactly what to expect with it. That opening was like, whoa, okay, interesting. What you're drawing, but
yeah,
it is a good performance. It's just I don't know if I found that movie kind of, and his character maybe annoying, and maybe that's part of what the performance was. But yeah, that's another one. I didn't really care for the movie, but he's good. It just this is just really solid young actors and actresses here that are just each one of them kind of are really solid. I think unfortunately you're going to go up. They're going up against a freight train. I don't think anybody's really going to stop the kind of the front runner here winning.
Yeah, I mean, mine is definitely a wasted vote. I mean,
you got a burn vote.
Well, there is something to be like Stephanie Hsu definitely has the online contingent, but I mean Frankie Corio is like
another one
beloved as well. But it's going to be Stephanie Hsu if she doesn't win. Like I think this is as big of a lock as like Everything Everywhere winning director. You know, I mean it's going to happen.
Yeah. I can definitely see this one. It's definitely more wide open. I don't know. I thought she was pretty awesome. One of my favorite parts of that movie. But yeah, Marina. That was my pick there. So
I like it.
all right, best documentary. This is where it gets a little iffy on some of the films that I've watched. There's one that didn't even get released here in the States until this week, and it was kind of the voting kind of had already ended. Unfortunately, I don't know if you were able to at least watch it or not.
Yeah, I rented it, and so
All right, what's the nominations here for best documentary?
okay. The documentary nominees are All That Breathes, All the Beauty and the Bloodshed, A House Made of Splinters, Midwives, and Riotsville, USA.
All righty. Some interesting documentaries, I would say for sure. There's definitely a favorite here. I could think that could be a lock, possibly.
I don't think there's a lock, but
You know,
I
go ahead.
I think overall 2022 was a pretty weak year for documentaries. There
Yeah,
were a
it's
couple that
definitely.
were really good, but most of them were just so like, okay, I get it. Or like, I mean, yeah, it was entertaining, or I didn't know that, but I'm not sure it's really that well put together. All
Yeah,
of these movies are pretty much in that vein. Like, I didn't give any of them above a 3-star rating. So, but
yeah. I think the ones I've seen, one, two. Yeah, I gave 2 of these 3 stars out of the 4 I have seen. I did miss House of Splinters on that one. I guess I'll just kick this one off because you can have more to say on the main ones. But I do have Midwives at 4, Riotsville at 3, All That Breathes, and then All the Beauty and the Bloodshed is what I did vote for. I feel like that one would have been better as a docu series because it feels like 3 different parts, 3 different stories told in one documentary at 2 hours. I think a docu series at an hour apiece would probably be a more interesting and more informative way to tell the story, but it's definitely the one that had the more potential for me out of the one, at least the one I kind of enjoyed the most, I would say.
that's fair. So for me, I had number 5, Midwives. Number 4, All That Breathes. Number 3, All the Beauty and the Bloodshed. Number 2 is where I put A House Made of Splinters.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And my number 1 was Riotsville, USA, which is a movie that it's not great, but it is something that I definitely had no idea about when I was watching, and I think it actually is pretty insightful in some ways. And yeah, I mean, for me with documentaries, it really is. Did I learn something, and do I care? And I think I did with Riotsville, USA. So, but A House Made of Splinters is one that really does get at your heart. So I'm happy that it is here. I just don't know how. I don't know how the people saw it in order to nominate it, considering it only played at like a couple festivals, and it was not released in the U.S. and won't be released actually in the U.S. until like this summer when it comes on PBS. But it's streaming now for rental. So I don't know how documentary releases are always weird.
Yeah, they are. It's kind of interesting how that one got nominated. I'm interested. That's about Ukraine, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm definitely really intrigued by that. It's just a lot of binge watching of films to get these award nominations in. So I've missed a couple. There's several award shows we're watching stuff for. So anyway, all right, our next category.
Wait, what's gonna win?
Oh, yeah, that's right. We do this. I think All the Beauty and the Bloodshed. I think that's the one that I was kind of hinting at could be the lock.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to be A House Made of Splinters because I really don't think a lot of the voters were able to see it. All That Breathes is one that's sort of the quirky one, but that's more of like an Oscar kind of thing than a Spirit Awards thing. I agree that it should probably be All the Beauty and the Bloodshed.
Yeah, 3 of these are Oscar nominated, which is right, correct? Yeah. But yeah, good. They're good. Not as good as last year's documentary batch, I would say. I think last year's are definitely there's a couple. Yeah, I remember a few of them from last year, but some interesting watches you guys should definitely check out. So, all right, international feature film here. There's one I didn't actually get to see here either, but really great. Some really good movies here for sure. Let's talk about them.
Yeah, really good group of movies. The nominees were Corsage, Joyland, Leonore Will Never Die, Return to Seoul, and Saint Omer.
Oh yes, so many. Yeah, some really good choices here for sure. So, all right, Todd, you kick this one off.
At number 5, I had Joyland, which is a movie that apparently a lot of voters have loved. Like I keep hearing that like that one's the one that people are really sticking to. That's like the one I didn't really care for. Number 4, I have Leonore Will Never Die, which is just a strange movie, but it is fun to watch. Number 3, I have Corsage, which I know one person on our podcast really didn't like, Terry.
Looking at you, bud.
Number 2, I have Saint Omer, which
Yeah.
is a devastating movie, and number 1 is Return to Seoul, which is the real crown jewel of I think all of the movies that I hadn't seen that I got a screener for. Return to Seoul is a truly special work of art.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So the one I haven't seen here is Leonore Will Never Die, but the ones I did watch, Joyland was another one. There's some really good imagery there. I think some performances there. This is one that just hit with me. I have Corsage at number 3. Another one. It didn't really. Vicky Krieps is really good, and I'm surprised she didn't get nominated. Actually, to be honest, but there's again such a strong year for people.
Well, I think usually if you're nominated for international film, you're not eligible for the other awards at the Spirit Awards. Like I remember when Once was nominated for international film, so it wasn't nominated for Best Feature, even though it easily would have won if it had been.
Weird. Saint Omer, I got number 2, and then Return to Seoul also is number 1 for me. I think that one's definitely one that's deserving. That's going to be my prediction. Wait, hold on a second. Let's pump the brakes here on the prediction thing. But Return to Seoul, a beautiful film here, was my last screener that I was able to watch because I knew that based off the poster alone, one of the better posters of 2022. Return to Seoul is what I voted for at the International Film Awards, so definitely had to give that one some love. It was just really great way to tell a story, really captivating, and so many different different countries putting this movie out there too. So I really love that.
Yeah, a great movie exploring different types of family and your family being sort of who you choose. Kind of, it's a lot of dynamics there that are really great, and some truly great performances by especially Jamin Park, the lead actress. It blew me away. One of my favorite performances of the year.
Yeah, one of the definitely. If I would have seen it, it'd probably been on my list as well. Before we did our awards there. So, all right, who's going to win this thing? This is up in the air because you just mentioned Joyland. That's kind of threw out my prediction there because a lot of people are saying that's a great movie. I want to say Return to Seoul, but
yeah, none of these were nominated for Oscars, so we don't even have like a true front runner. I guess the highest profile movie is Saint Omer, and that on Gold Derby that is the favorite in the odds. But I don't really always go with that with the Spirit Awards. They're always a little fickle. So I think if everyone watched Return to Seoul, I think that could win. I'm gonna predict that in a slight upset.
Return to Seoul is a slight upset there. I'll take those odds. Yeah, I'll take those. I like it. Yeah, Saint Omer, I can see that one kind of squeaking out the victory here. But yeah, Return to Seoul. Hopefully, our 2 votes are good. Way to push those over the top there. So we have Return to Seoul, maybe doing the upset over Saint Omer at international feature film here. Looks like we got 2 more left. Yeah, 2 more left. Yep. Best editing now, there, sir.
Okay, best editing nominees are Marcel the Shell with Shoes On.
Wrong one. There we go.
The Cathedral, Aftersun, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Tar.
Stacked category here. Some really good list here. All right. You went first last time. Editing for me. Okay, this is a tough one here. I have number 5, The Cathedral. Number 4, Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. 3, Tar. 2, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and then number one, I have Aftersun, winning for editing. That's who I voted for. But I think that the two best edited, really edited, they're really good here. But I think Everything Everywhere All at Once, what they were able to do with the editing for that movie, uh, regardless what you think about it, I think there's just so many moving parts and what they were able to do and splice different things together. I think that is really going to be a favorite. At that movie, obviously, is a favorite for a lot of people. But I think After Sun told in such a creative way and definitely different and smaller in scope. I think that the editing was and how it was pieced together as part of some of the reasons why I really kind of liked that. It was told in such another unique way, and so this is a tough category but I
Yeah.
had to go with After Sun here.
Yeah, Everything Everywhere All at Once is like it's obviously the most editing. It might be the most editing I've ever seen in a movie,
Yeah,
and so it makes sense why a lot of people are making that be the standout. I appreciate what you say about Aftersun. The what I think it's funny the one thing you said about the cathedral earlier was like I don't really the pacing wasn't really all that, and then now we're at editing. It's like and that was one of the nominees. Just like
I know that's what I was like, man, I've got I got an acting nomination, I got an
yeah.
editing nomination. I was just like, it for whatever reason it didn't work for me, but it's good that it gets some different films get some love here though, so it's nice to see that.
Yeah. My rankings I have number 5 Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, which is I mean it's a fun nomination. It is like
It's
it
not animated.
has it has animation and it has live action. It puts them together and it works pretty well, I guess. Number 4 I have The Cathedral. Number
Mhm.
3 Everything Everywhere All at Once. 2 I have After Sun, and number 1 I have Tar, which is just I mean it's just an absolute banger of a movie,
Yeah,
and I think
well, kind of flawless.
it is lengthy, but it never feels it because it is just
It kind of
it,
flies by, don't it?
yeah, it comes at you in a lot of different ways, and it's and even like the unbroken shots, like the Juilliard scene is just I mean it's just masterful, and like the choices to not cut and it's I mean I love that it's nominated here, and yeah, it was kind of quite easily my vote.
Tar's a great pick. It's just it's tough because I think that there's three favorites here in this category. We both picked different ones, of course, and they have that one film that's probably going to win here with Everything Everywhere All at Once. I think
Yeah,
is that the favorite? I think that's the favorite. I think that movie in general is just going to be.
Yeah, I mean, that and Tar are both nominated for the Oscar, so there is some, I guess there is some chance that Tar could have a chance, but I mean, Everything Everyone Wants is, I mean, it's like the editing is the showiest part of the entire thing, so I think that's going to kind of win in a landslide.
Yeah, that's true. I this is just great films there, and I've three of these movies, like you said, are two of them are Oscar nominated. I think that After Sun is actually a really, I think that's the dark horse. I think that one, I feel like it's it should win something. If it's probably gonna win, it's on the screenplay category, correct? I can't remember already.
No, it's not in for best first
No,
screen, but it's
first,
going to win best first feature.
yeah, that's where it's gonna win. But anyway, I just think it's a great nomination. I think that could be a dark horse there. That's what I kind of voted for it as well. But yeah, I think it's really between Everything Everywhere All at Once and Tar. There, it's gonna be a stacked category right there. Be awesome to see Tar win something here, and that would be perfect for that.
Yeah.
All right, our last category, cinematography, which I think this could be where one of the movies we've been talking about a lot could win. But anyway, let's go to it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
The nominees for cinematography are Tar, Marina,
Hold on. Come on. There we go.
Aftersun, Pearl, and Neptune Frost.
Yes. Neptune Frost. Yes.
Which is a movie I had not heard of prior to the nominations, which is always fun to see a random one pop up like that for cinematography, and you can definitely tell why it was nominated when you watch it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good cinematography there. It's some really interesting choices here. I really like them.
Yeah, very diverse visually movies, like movies that aren't standard awards fare for cinematography, but at the Spirit Awards, kind of anything goes. Like they go a lot more with camera work and like the movement of the camera than they actually do of like making like a visual photograph or like a moving photograph essentially. So, which is cool. Like movies get nominated that wouldn't get nominated everywhere else.
Yeah, I like to tell. I like seeing the love for Pearl and Neptune Frost. Neptune Frost, one of my second to last screener that I did watch, and yeah, definitely an interesting experience. I didn't know really what to expect with that one, so it's very interesting, but really deserving visually shot film there. But I do have that one at number 5. Pearl is 4. Really cool shots, especially when the whole Be a Star sequence that was just done really well. 3, I have. God, I hate that my order. This is so tough. After I just gushed about the film and editing, number 3 is Aftersun. 2 is Marina. I think that's a really great shot there. And then Tar, number 1 for cinematography. And I think this is where it's going to get that locked win, I think.
Yeah, I think after getting the Oscar nomination for cinematography, which was somewhat of a surprise, I think it pretty much secured its win here, especially because somehow this is the one category that Everything Everywhere All at Once didn't get nominated for. I'm not really sure why.
Weird. Yeah, I know, right?
They just chose this one to be the one. Okay. My rankings, I have number 5, I have Pearl. Number 4, Aftersun. 3, Neptune Frost. 2, Marina. And number 1 is Tar.
And I'm glad we agree on the top 2, but I think that again, these are all really great choices here. I think it's definitely got some new. Again, Neptune Frost not even nominated for like international feature, which is another one that's kind of strange, but it's cool that they are nominating a bunch of different like choices. So cool to see that. But yeah, like again, I really love Marina there. I thought that was really good visually. I think the top 4 that I had were some of my favorites as well. For if I was to my personal awards, I think those would be up there as well. But the lock, I think for here, the win is going to be for Tar.
Yeah, I think this is definitely where Tar will for sure win, and hopefully Kate will win as well.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Or Mia Goth. That's who we want. No, definitely that'd be awesome to see that. Let's go over to the. I know I don't have slides for this, but let's just. We should quickly mention the Robert Altman and the John Cassavetes nominations here. Robert Altman already decided who is the winner here, and what is the Robert Altman Award there, Todd? So people
the Robert Altman Award is the award for the ensemble cast that the voting committee decides to anoint, and so that movie is not eligible for acting awards at that year's ceremonies. And the Robert Altman Award went to, well, justifiably, Women Talking, because like every other place, I'm sure that it probably would have gotten all of them snubbed because everybody has a different favorite in the cast. So why not just nominate or like give them all the award? And yeah, it's a very deserving winner. One of the truly great ensemble casts of the year.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that one. Should be a category for our awards show. Actually, I didn't think about this one. It should be.
Yeah, I mean, I brought that up months ago, and it was something that I think the main host of our podcast didn't want to do.
But next year. Anyway, Women Talking, great pick there too. I really like Claire Voy in this film here. Runa Mara is really great as well. But yeah, just Jessie Buckley is another one. McDormand is another great one. There's so many great people in this cast here too. So Women Talking, deserving win here. Glad it's not. Well, darn it. Wouldn't it be awesome if it was Everything Everywhere All at Once and we didn't have to talk about that movie as much?
Oh yeah. Anyway. Yeah, instead of giving it 4 acting nominations.
Yeah, exactly. Crazy. But anyway, all right. What's the John Cassavetes Award?
The John Cassavetes Award is pretty much like the movie was made for like the smallest budget. I remember it used to be like less than $100,000, but now since they ballooned the budgets up for everything, it is now best movie made for under $1 million. And so they have nominees. We don't get a vote on this. It's actually the committee decides the winner, but the nominees are a love song, the Cathedral, The African Desperate, Holy Emmy, and Something in the Dirt. Which I've only seen the two that we have talked about before. Love Song and The Cathedral. The other three I believe are movies, and I don't have that, so I haven't actually watched those yet.
Yeah, it's so interesting to see that The Cathedral got other nominations as well. So I would kind of lean towards that probably being the favorite. But
Well, Love Song was nominated too.
Oh yeah, Dale Dickey. Yeah, I that's the one I really like. I like Love Song. So I know we don't get
I would hope that would win, but I mean, this I'd have to go back and look. Like what won last year? I don't even remember. It was the winner last year was Shiva Baby.
Yeah.
Over
top 10 movie of the year.
Over movies like Jockey and Cryptozoo. Yeah, I mean that Shiva Baby would be the equivalent of like a love song. I guess that probably is the favorite. The year before went to Residue, but that beat The Killing of Two Lovers. So it sometimes does go with like the one that they're just trying to get people to watch, because obviously nobody's going to watch Residue and think that it's better than The Killing of Two Lovers.
Yeah. But the weird part is too, I think we got screeners for the John Cassavetes last year, but nothing this year. Because I remember Cryptozoo, kind of.
And yeah. I mean, it's just as a matter of whether they decide to give out their screeners, but that is a good point though. I hadn't thought about that, because we did, and we got a screening of all of those movies. Lingua Franca like the year before, and Sweet Thing last year. Yeah.
So it's weird. But anyway, the some two really good movies, or Cathedral is a mixed bag, but for me anyway. But I really like the love story there. I thought Dale Dickey was really good. Wes Studi's in it, so anything with him is really going to be solid. So anyway, that's what we had today. That's our predictions for our Film Independent Spirit Awards. Really excited to see the ceremony again on March 4th, 2023. 2 p.m. PST, also streaming on the Film Independent YouTube channel. So really excited for that. Favorite movie out of this bunch there, Todd, real quick.
Of all the movies?
Out of all these movies, favorite movie out of the bunch that wasn't in your top 10. I'm looking at you, Return to Seoul and Tar.
The one, so I can't say Bones and All.
Oh yeah, Bones and All too, yeah.
So not including my top 10 is I mean, my number 11 of the year is Saint Omer, so I guess I'd have to go with that.
Perfect. So excluding my top 10 movies, I have to take out Tar, I have to take out Aftersun, and I think that's all. But I have, again, gushed about this film a lot. Marina is up there. I also really liked Emergency, was another one that I thoroughly was entertained by, and in a more talkative way too. And then Causeway. So that's my three kind of like really higher ranked film. I have to look at my whole list here, but those are the three that off the top that are definitely Return to Seoul. Yeah, there we go. Wait, I'll talk about that one. Yeah, Return to Seoul, top 15. I already said that, but it's not in my top 10. So yeah, Return to Seoul and Marina are my top 2. So all right. Speaking of Return to Seoul, you guys can check the video, Todd's review of Return to Seoul, on our YouTube channel. So I'll leave that in the description box down below. So make sure you guys check out Return to Seoul. Heck, I might even just pop it on. If you're watching YouTube, I'll just pop it on my face right now too, if you're watching this on the replay. So click that video in front of my face and watch Return to Seoul. Go share your thoughts on that film as well. So again, this is Adam and Todd. Thank you so much for listening to Almost Sideways Movie Podcast.
See you later, guys.
All right.